As much as I'm all about like not being restrictive, I still think I'm a human. I have to set boundaries for myself. Sally is just insisting that she is in this video, so we're just gonna go with it. But it was about time that I update you on just the state of my diet and my diet philosophy. I do so many what I eat in a day videos and cooking videos. I think it might just be nice to have an updated video on like really where my decision making comes from when I'm choosing what I eat. I went through a huge portion of my life where I was completely 100% plant-based, decided to kind of move away from that, added animal products back in, and then it's just kind of evolved over time. Let's talk about my diet now. If I could try to sum it up in one sentence, it's whole food in its natural state. Obviously that means less processed foods, foods with like fewer and fewer ingredients on the ingredient list, you know, like ideally like 1 or 2 or 3. That's really how I sum up my diet. After that, I really prioritize produce. I'm thinking, where is my produce in this meal? Is it fruit? Is it vegetables? Is it greens? At least 1 serving of produce, ideally 2 or 3 in every meal. It's where we get so many phytonutrients and just things that nourish our body from the inside out. It's where we get so many antioxidants that prevent chronic disease, that just make us feel and look better, that promote energy, promote healing. All that good stuff is in the colorful produce that we eat. I lean greatly on frozen produce. I always have a stash of frozen produce. I always have some kind of frozen green, some kind of frozen berry, frozen bananas, frozen stir fry mix, frozen broccoli, frozen green beans, frozen peas, in my freezer at all times. Ideally, I love to get my produce locally. You know, sign up for a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture program where you get a farm box full of fresh vegetables that were literally just picked that morning. The sooner you can consume a vegetable after it was picked, the more nutrients you're going to get out of it. You get more nutrient density when you buy locally from a local farmer and you eat those local vegetables. There is a portion of the winter where all the farmers markets shut down. So no, is that perfect? Absolutely not. Try to prioritize whatever is in season and eat seasonally, and I let that kind of guide my menu or my meal plan for the week. Next thing I prioritize is protein. As far as animal-based protein, the 2 that I always go to first are typically wild seafood or pasture-raised eggs. Wild-caught seafood is a fantastic source of omega-3 fatty acids, really good for the skin, really good for inflammation, really good for mood as well. Protein is so important for muscle building. I did a video all about protein and how much I eat, so I'll link that here. After wild seafood and pasture-raised eggs, the next form of protein that I look for is going to be an organic or pasture-raised chicken, grass-fed beef as well, and pasture-raised pork. I would say I don't consume that much pork. It's really like once in a blue moon that I do. I'm not opposed to eating other types of animal products like lamb, venison, you name it. I'm really, really open nowadays because I've just done so much research on the nutrient density of animal products and also just how to be thoughtful, and I've found so many great sources that I feel like comfortable supporting and comfortable eating. So local farms, pasture-raised farms, Thrive Market a lot to get frozen meat sent to my home if I can't get out to the local farm that's about 30 minutes away from me that I also go to. I'll leave those 2 websites linked below. I have chicken maybe 1 or 2 times a week. I have grass-fed beef at least once a week. I'm not opposed to having it more, but I think once a week is a good amount of time. There's so much nutrient density in grass-fed beef that I love it. Like I crave it and I really, really enjoy it. Eggs, at least 2 every single day, sometimes 3. And as far as plant-based proteins, I love, love, love nuts, seeds. I do oftentimes eat legumes. I would say it's not as much as I did when I was plant-based. My digestive system could not handle all those plant-based proteins like legumes, that amount of nuts, that amount of grains that I needed to consume to get the amount of protein that I needed. It just did not work well for me. I am so, so happy though if it works for other people. Like, love that. Love that for you. Other plant-based protein sources that I do gravitate to sometimes, like gluten-free grains that are also tend to be higher in protein, things like quinoa and buckwheat. I love buckwheat. I've been making a really delicious buckwheat porridge. I add a plant-based protein powder to it, basically like oatmeal. Oh, it's so, so good. Buckwheat may be really helpful in improving insulin resistance. It's November right now as I'm filming this, and I just don't want a cold smoothie every morning. Have something warming and really comforting that gives me like lots of good fiber and slow carbs, but also, you know, protein, and really just supports like a regular stable blood sugar curve. That's what I'm looking for. So I really am loving buckwheat right now. It's having a moment for me. After produce and after my protein choice, then I'm on to fat. Always enjoy some type of fat in my meals, at least 1 to 2 tablespoons of fat. Fat is so important for your skin, for your mood, for feeling calm, for feeling full. So important for hormone health. I cannot skip it. I have to have a meal with some type of fat in it. Favorite cooking fats are going to be extra virgin olive oil, and really that's for like medium heat and for dressings and for flavor. Cooking, I love ghee. I love, love, love ghee. Ghee is high in saturated fat though, so I try to mix it up. I try to use ghee sometimes use extra virgin olive oil, which is more of a monounsaturated fat. Other favorite is avocado oil. Avocado oil is really great if you need an oil that doesn't have like a lot of flavor, but can cook and like roast at really high heat or saute at high heat. Another source of fat that I also have been really into lately is dairy. I talked a lot about dairy in my anti-acne diet video, and I'm not here to say that everyone should be consuming dairy. I just really like experimenting with it and seeing if I can handle it. If there are foods that I can eat without a negative reaction, why would I deprive myself of that? Another thing that's really important in my diet philosophy and in my mindset now is more about abundance and less about restriction. I define my diet as all the things that I enjoy and can have. Do not define my diet by what I cannot have. Dairy products that I absolutely love lately are especially grass-fed Greek or regular whole milk yogurt. Oh, I love yogurt so much. And I use it for breakfast. I use it in recipes where maybe they call for like sour cream or whole milk or cream, get all the great probiotic benefits. And for me, it's just a really great source of healthy fat and protein. I also love goat and sheep's milk cheese. I find that I digest these things just fine. To be able to enjoy a pizza with cheese, like pizza without cheese, it's just sad. To be able to like have a bite of pizza with like that creamy goat cheese on it or Parmesan. Oh my gosh. It just makes life so fun. I'm such a foodie, able to like find those joys in my food and in my recipes now. It just makes me feel so good. And then lastly, in my diet, I think about natural sweeteners and or non-nutritive, non-caloric sweeteners and how I use those. I love wildflower honey, also love local maple syrup. I really just use half a teaspoon at a time. I only add it to things like a matcha latte. I have a little bit of maple syrup mixed into like a tahini or a nut butter, and I put that over pancakes, just like a little bit. I really decreased the amount of natural sweetener that I used, and over time when you slowly decrease it, your taste buds get used to it. And now when I taste something sweet with like anything more than a teaspoon of sugar, I'm like, oh, gross. It just does not taste good to me. Definitely enjoy dark chocolate that is sweetened, but I try to find the one that has the least amount of sugar in it. Really great chocolate brand that's actually sweetened with just honey. It doesn't have any other types of sugar in it. That is my absolute favorite. Real taste of sweetness from the honey and the real taste of the chocolate. It's so satisfying. It doesn't leave you like wanting more, like a regular bar of processed chocolate would, like where you just need to keep eating it. So much more satisfying to have whole, real food. I'm gonna leave a link down below to my Amazon shop. I've curated lists of all my favorite products that basically follow my diet philosophy. It's hard to find brands sometimes that align with the way that you're trying to eat. I have scoured ingredient lists and brands online and in my grocery store, and so I've tried to curate lists of the things that I know make me feel good, and I want to support the companies that are doing it in my opinion, right. From time to time, enjoy coconut sugar, coconut palm sugar. I use that in baking sometimes. And then also I do have things that are sweetened with non-nutritive sweeteners like monk fruit. I really don't like stevia. I don't like all the sugar alcohols. I cannot digest sugar alcohols at all. Like, it's a bad time, like cramps, doubled over. I cannot do it. Last time I had a piece of sugar-free gum, I was in agony the rest of the day. Sugar alcohols are not great for the gut. So just be wary of those. I know it's hard, but if you're leaning on stevia or you're leaning on any type of other non-nutritive or artificial sweetener all throughout your day, even though they don't have calories, they're still really, really hard on your gut and can still be impacting your blood sugar. Enjoy a little small amount of monk fruit, and that's mainly in the form of in my protein powder. And in my Amazon shop, I have my 3 favorite protein powders that I really only will ever have these 3 because they're only made from 3 ingredients. I really like the flavor of it. It's not too overpowering, doesn't leave like a weird aftertaste for me like stevia does. As much as I'm all about like not being restrictive, I still think I'm a human. I have to set boundaries for myself. Just like we set boundaries, you know, for other things. I do give myself boundaries, but then I give myself lots of choices within those boundaries, if that makes sense. I don't know about you, but I am somebody that always wants to categorize and define things. And I really struggle to like define the way I'm eating now. So I thought it would almost be like selfishly helpful for me to kind of film this video to see if I can define it in some way. And I would say like maybe like the diet that I align myself the best with is probably like an anti-inflammatory diet, Mediterranean style diet. That's probably the closest like official diet that I align most closely with. If you know, follow paleo or you follow vegan, be reflective at times and just really say like, what am I missing here? Or what am I getting too much of? Or, you know, how could I tweak this to make it right for me? And that's just kind of what I've been doing over the past couple years, and it will continue to evolve and change. How do you define your diet? Please tell me down in the comments below, and like tell me what things you're working on or what things you're grappling with. Let me know what videos you want to see more of. I've been playing around with doing some more like regular cooking videos. Also love doing vlogs. Love to hear your guys' input and what you like to see the most, and I will do more of that. So like this video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and tick the bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Check out the links below for more resources in the description. And with that, I will see you soon for another one.